came through again. He's in LA. Simon Francis came through to kick it, and he brought me a gift. So we're going to go over this. This is the Odyssey by Hamstead out of Cambridge, England.
Yeah.
And this is the bass version because they make a guitar version.
So the bass one's called the Subspace driver, and I think the guitar one's the Intergalactic driver.
Dope. That's a good name. Subspace.
I wanted to call it 2001, like Bass Odyssey.
Right.
But I think that probably would have caused trouble. I have a prototype, and it says that on the label. So.
Oh, that's awesome. Well, thank you for bringing this across the pond. And why are you here?
I'm playing with Kylie Minogue.
Boom.
Yeah.
So he went from Ellie Goulding, now he's with Kylie Minogue. And we were talking about this gig with Kylie Minogue, and you were saying that you again have this giant, huge pop gig that you get to hand out fucked up sounds, and you get to, right?
Yeah.
How the fuck does that happen?
I don't know. I guess there was some opportunities. I guess I said to you the original run of shows were small underplays, so small clubs in the UK and Europe, and there wasn't going to be space on stage for a synth, and they were talking about putting that on track, and I just was like, well, let's take it off track. I think I could do it, and they were, the team were up for giving it a go,
and they were into it,
and
she's into it.
Yeah, she's been. Yeah, there's a couple that she's really into, and there was like, yeah. So.
That's what we're here for. We're preaching that shit out of this room here. Is that you don't need a synth player. We can double that shit up and get it right with our instrument. You don't need to get a bass synth player who looks corny playing some goofy synth. We're gonna look cool playing basses and getting you those sounds. That's my preaching. That's it. But that's why I've been telling these kids, this is where you want to go in all this effect world. You want to like dive in and save yourself. If your gig is playing bass, then you need to be in this world.
Yeah, I mean a lot. Yeah, I think so much of the time the alternative is to play along to something on track. Or
right. Sure.
I'd rather it was live. I'd rather, people hear live music.
Yes. I feel you. So I'm stoked that you come through and you tell me this, because it just reinforces what I was hoping was going to happen, and it is happening. And I think hip hop dudes need to listen up, and they need to get rid of those dudes just standing there like this. That just never has looked cool. This never has looked cool. Like this is what looks cool. So that, and then there's so much more. Like you and I were talking. It's like working with these new synth pedals that have been coming out and muting them and getting there's ways to get those attacks of a synth and all that stuff. It's just making sure you do your homework and looking out for research and stuff. Some dude who's doing it. Maybe it's you, maybe it's me, maybe it's Tim LaFay, but somebody out there is getting those sounds that you could go, shoot, I could use that in this to cover this synth sound.
Yeah. I mean, I think for me the big thing is like not thinking of them as effects and thinking of them as instruments. Right. And I think that to me is the thing that I feel like I'm still waiting for other people to get. Because a lot of the time you go up and it's like, plug straight into an amp. But I feel like, it's the instrument, right? It's kind of, it's almost a different thing, like those pedals. And
yeah, it definitely is. Like we were playing the Downer by Maleko earlier, and that sounds synthy and like a synth, but it's like you don't own a synth. You can't buy a synth that gets you that sound, but it's still valid and it still knocks. It's awesome. This is Overdrive. We're going.
Yeah, Overdrive distortion. This thing.
Okay, cool. Boom.
Yeah,
number 3. That's a good number for me. So let's plug this in and get some sounds. And I'm gonna just do straight P bass with my new, currently built. Bought this on eBay. Seymour Duncan sent me some pickups. Hip Shot Bridge. Bender sent me a nice neck out of Corona, California, and a kill switch and a volume. So
no tone, straight to
No. The reason I bought this body, though, is because it's string through. It's a 70s body, but somebody had it modded, and I love string through. Yeah. My old Lakelands had string through, and a lot of basses I do like have string through, so I was stoked. So it sounds great. I'm pretty stoked. So we'll just run this into this. I think we'll get a straight P-bass sound with it. are they different, like EQ cuts?
Yeah, so you have, so if we go to this, so the whole thing is kind of built around this EQ section.
Okay.
Which gives you like plus minus 18 dB boost or cut on treble and bass.
Mm-hmm.
And you can either just have it as a clean, so if you play now, it'll just be clean. And then you can EQ that. And then you move. So if depending on where the switch is, this either comes before or after the clipping circuit. Got it. Like on bass, with this you normally just go to post. So and just crank the bass. And then you have 3 clipping options. So that one's a symmetrical clipping option, and then this is one like a kind of a cleaner or like more transparent asymmetrical thing. So it's a bit louder. So if you play, and the third is like another asymmetrical thing, which is a bit more ampy.
I like that one.
That's my favorite one.
Yeah, awesome.
So essentially, I mean, I think the idea is like, it was kind of, originally it was designed, there was like a guitar version. And the idea was you could get like Tube Streamer to like a Boss HM2 kind of thing. So if you kind of have, if you crank the gain, this is almost like a Boss HM2 kind of that.
Yeah. Oh, hell yeah.
And then this switch hits like the gain, so you can either come in at ×1 gain, or you can come in at ×2, ×5.
Rusty box there.
Yeah, and so on this one you can then, so then if you flip it and you're coming pre, and then on the side here is like a clean, this is parallel clean signal, so when your bass comes in, it's split and half of it goes through this top and then the other, and this can give you, I think, up to like a ×2 boost. So you can boost your clean if you want to, but if you then, I like that alongside the pre, because then you can just cut the bass,
right,
boost the treble, and you get that real like upper range. Or if you cut the bass and the treble, then you'll get like a mid boost. Kind of get fuzz sounds because you're like on the pre, because then I guess you've then got like all of this signal boosting into the drive. So if you're on like the ×5 cranking that gain, it's like, quite sputtery.
Awesome. Brad, good looking up. And then safe flight back to England. Hopefully I'll see you this summer.
Yeah.
I don't know where, when.
I'll see you somewhere.
We're probably not playing the same festival, so.
Who knows?
Yeah, you never know.
You know.
That'd be awesome if we both did a corporate together.
Yeah, I mean, we could be somewhere in leather together.
All right, thanks.